It's the bright one, the right one. It's Martini. Anytime, any place, anywhere. There's a wonderful world you can share in the bright day, the right day of Martini. Martini.
Hello everyone and welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway racing the way it ought to be for the night race in the 2023 NASCAR AAA Cup Series. It's the Sharpie 500. It's the GOAT on pole alongside Lucas Evans, possibly looking for the race win today, but as the boys in Las Vegas are thinking over in the sports books right now, a fifth consecutive second place finish. How about this? Mo Zane and Adalberto Franco starting on the second row. Two drivers that you rarely ever see up this high in the field. So obviously they're hoping for a very good result today. They've qualified well, so they can clearly ring around this racetrack quite easily on their own. But in traffic, once things start to get really bunched up, we'll soon find out how they get on. Max Davis is a driver who's pretty comfortable around Bristol, comfortable around the short tracks in general. He starts alongside Lyle Austin here. Gerald Pepper qualifying 7th, another good qualifying result for him, of course. Still looking for his first win of the season. Eric Monaco, Matthew Burnett, Riley Spurley, Rocky Johnson, Daniel Voiles, Reggie Fogelman, Dylan Abrahamian, Bob and Flobo, Brittany White, Steve Morgan, Ari Utaiki, Christian Bracken, Jana Fogelman, Matt Swells, Patrick Smith. Didn't he win the Bristol race? The first Bristol race? I think he did. Either Smith or Monaco, I forget. We got Wolf, we got Sato, we got Harvey, Samaya, another bad result for him today. Lego, Thomas, Langestein, PK, ditto for Joey Trickle here. Ozkan, Hicks, Allen, Shawbois, Whitlock, Jenkins, Cropley, rounding out the field, Shadavald, and Salin. So, another 125 laps around Bristol Motor Speedway under the lights. I've got my martini right here. And I don't mean a cocktail made with gin and vermouth, dry vermouth. I mean just a cup of sweet vermouth on the rocks. Yep. Drinking it the way that, yeah, it's vermouth the way it ought to be, in fact. At racing the way it ought to be. You ever watched the martini commercials from the 70s? They're just drinking it on the rocks. The way God intended. You can mix it with soda or juice. But, yeah, it's the most beautiful drink in the world. You can probably hardly even see the Martini and Rossi logo on the side of the GOAT's car, but it's been there the whole time. There it is, Martini. So, yeah, gunning for Martini today at the Sharpie 500. Green flag is out. We are underway here, and yeah, Sharpie sponsored a race back in the day. In fact, they might still do that. And they've got signs around the racetrack, which gives you an idea of just how powerful a brand name Sharpie is. And that is the goat flying off into the distance. Is he on for another domination today? We'll soon find out, but Lucas Evans holding on to second place quite nicely here. Zane up ahead of Davis. Franco beginning to fall behind the field. Pepper up into 5th from 7th, so possibly looking like a better start for the inside line here. Here are Burnett, Voiles, Austin, and Ebrahimians. Yeah, Austin falling behind a little bit. Flip up there with Taiki. Running side by side of Monaco here. Spurley and Bracken. The two Evernham Dodge cars running just outside the top 10 at present here. Lucas Evans holding on to second here, but yeah, the GOAT just running away with it. Very good stuff there. Mo Zane, Max Davis, and Gerald Pepper traveling in a bit of a tandem here. Davis and Pepper seem to be much more comfortable with the car around the racetrack than Zane at present. As I was saying, Zane and Franco possibly letting the pressure get to them. Franco dropping all the way from the second row down to 9th here, and Mo Zane losing 3rd spot to Gerald Pepper. Well, he lost... Actually, he lost 4th spot to Gerald Pepper, but yeah, both Davis and Pepper able to get past Zane. Lucas Evans has a pretty good gap here to Davis in 2nd, but of course the GOAT's the one trying to go for a really good gap here. Look at that, 16.18. Right from the off here, a very good lap time from the GOAT. Lucas Evans with the 2nd fastest lap time, only running a 16.5. Max Davis as well. Pepper and Flobo, along with Voiles here, for 16.6. Of course, we're only 7 laps into the contest, as noted, up there on the scoring board at the side. But the GOAT clearly showing that he has much greater pace than everybody here, sliding through turns 3 and 4 there. Very good stuff. I think he scraped the wall a bit as well, so the GOAT really acclimatizing himself to Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, Bristol's one of my favorite tracks, but like most of my favorite tracks, they aren't very kind to me, and so it really is much of a challenge to try to get around them. In fact, the tracks that I won at this season, like Martinsville and Chicagoland, aren't really tracks that I expected to do well at, even, or that I really that are really popular with me. Obviously, Chicagoland has a reputation as a cookie-cutter racetrack with a very similar shape to Las Vegas and Kansas, of course. But, well, I just sort of found my groove here, and yeah, clearly did not have that at the first Bristol race, but I think I definitely found it today under the lights. So tonight, more specifically, Lucas Evans still running 2nd here. Max Davis 3rd, Gerald Pepper 4th, Mo Zane 5th, Matthew Burnett 6th, 7th is Voiles, and we have Ebrahimian, Floa, and Taiki running at your top 10. Here are Bracken, Franco down to 12th, Wolf, Harvey, Monaco, Smith, Thomas, Langestein, Ostkan, and Austin rounding out your top 20. You can see these drivers running single file right now. Bound to be more bumping and running near the bottom of the field. In the bottom 20 here, Chalbois on 21st. Schadewald up to 22nd. Swisher started at the back of the field somewhere. Cropley was at the back of the field as well, and he's already gotten his way up at the 23rd, so he had a very good start here. Here are Allen, Sato, PK, Spurley, White running side by side right now. Whitlock, Hicks, Lego, Sallin, Wells, Morgan, Jana Fogelman. Look at Gil Samaya running 35th, 36th or so. And, oh, well, looks like the GOAT is already beginning to lap the back markers here. Trickle running last in this race. That is definitely not where the Jasper Motorsports cars want to be. Look at them. They're in the bottom 5 in this race, and both have been lapped by the GOAT, who's on lap 15 while they're still on lap 14. So definitely a very bad day for the Jasper Motorsports cars here so far. Trickle able to beat both Reggie Fogelman and Rocky Johnson on lap 15 there. Of course, the GOAT on lap 16 to reiterate. But yeah, the Jasper Motorsports cars, well, again, we've said that they're very good at the intermediate and super speedway tracks, but the short ones like these, they're definitely a bit out of their station. The highly tuned engines not really able to make so much of a difference at the short track like Bristol. I mean, Gil Samaya, New Hampshire, that was a different story. The mile-long oval, GOAT locking up a little bit there through turn 2. Yeah, it was definitely better suited to Gil Samaya's car than the highly banked short straights of Bristol there. That's Jana Fogelman into the wall. The GOAT getting into that car as he attempts to lap her. Trickle running down the inside there. Bad line. He's overtaken by Leroy Jenkins. Meanwhile, Lucas Evans, who runs second, coming up on the back markers here. Reggie Fogelman has been passed by Evans, Davis, and Pepper here. Pepper able to get past Hicks as well. Davis and Evans already passed, of course. Here is Rocky Johnson running 38th. Evans and Davis forming a tandem right behind. Joey Trickle able to break free momentarily in 37th. Take a look at your running order in the sidebar here. We'll start with the top 10, of course. Yeah, of course, the GOAT continuing to carve his way to the field. He's lapped 32nd place car, Montero Salin. 31st, Spurley is next. Then Morgan, Wells, and Whitlock. Yes, the GOAT coming up on Steve Morgan here. What a notorious pair of drivers, I gotta say. May have mentioned it, but the race at Richmond where I was drunk, that was when I drank a whole 750 milliliter bottle of this vermouth right here, Martini and Rossi Rosso. Here I am just having a rather small cup by comparison on the rocks. Nothing too crazy like last time, so happy days there. GOAT starts lap 25. We'll go back to Davis and Evans. So we missed Max Davis getting past Lucas Evans because we were too busy focusing on the GOAT and talking about my drink of choice. Let's go back. Let's rewind to lap 23 here and ignore the GOAT for a moment. And as you can see, Rocky Johnson vying with Gil Samaya, running side by side as both cars begin lap 23. Remember, Max Davis, Lucas Evans on the lead lap. 24 right now. But yeah, Max Davis able to get past Lucas Evans because Lucas Evans chose the outside line where Gil Samaya was, and Samaya was beaten by Johnson. So that's Davis up at the second place. Very good stuff. And jailed Pepper without much issue here in fourth. Mo Zane running fifth. Again, here are Burnett, Voiles, Ebrahimian, Flobo, and Taiki. That's your top 10. Evans able to get past Samaya, so he'll be hoping to catch up to Max Davis momentarily. Still a ways to go, of course, but for now, Davis is going to run behind Johnson. Looking at your lap times once again, we're just above 20% of the race distance in. Lucas Evans has the second fastest lap, 16.37. Then Pepper with a 16.405. Davis 16.414. Bob and Flobo 16.499. We've got 16.5s from Özkan, Zane, White, Allen, Ebrahimian, Smith, Burnett, Voiles, Harvey, Thomas, Taiki, PK matching Bracken's time there. And then the first 16.6 belongs to Flobo. Shadowvault with the 20th fastest lap. It appears that Taiki has been able to set a faster lap than Bracken and PK there. But yeah, 16.6s from 19th to 30th. 31st and below, 16.7. Slowest lap of the day, Gil Samaya for 16.8. So Gil Samaya is the slowest car on the racetrack by a long way, and that's something you don't hear every day. Of course, again, you got to reiterate, this is a short track, but Gil Samaya, running last right now, has not been able to put a lap faster than 16.8. I mean, again, compare that to 16.3 from the man who runs in third place right now. Yeah, you just begin to further appreciate how bad of a day Gil Samaya is having. Gil Samaya, the only other man to lead an entire race from pole position this season. Of course, the GOAT has been able to do so, crikey, 3 times, nearly 4. But yeah. Meanwhile, Lucas Evans looking like he's about to catch up to Max Davis at any moment. Evans definitely showing a lot of pace there. Of course, looking for second place, which seems to be his niche so far in this latter half of the season. Lucas Evans driving the number 0, netzero.com Haas race car, but looking more like a number 2 here. Of course, Leroy Jenkins drives the number 2, and he's also in the bottom 10 at this race so far. In fact, he appears to be running 37th right now. And again, Leroy Jenkins, as we've mentioned, has not been putting in the Leroy Jenkins type performances that you'd expect this season. Much more of a disappointment. In fact, I still think that the highlight of his season was his and Harvey's holding off the GOAT, who was running third at Rockingham, all the way back in the second round of the 2023 AAA Cup Series. After that, there really just hasn't been anything from Jenkins. But all 40 cars still running in this race so far, so I guess that really gives us an opportunity. I mean, look at this. The GOAT has lapped 27th place Estacio Pique, so up to 27th place, 14 cars running a lap down. And I bet the GOAT shows no sign of stopping. Lucas Evans probably shows no sign of stopping. We'll try our hardest not to focus on the GOAT here, and keep an eye on Evans, who's running right behind Davis, looking at second place from the Bill Davis Racing Dodge in front. My parents and sisters think this stuff is disgusting. I can sort of understand why, but they have different tastes. I think we all have very different tastes in drinks in general. I don't like. I'm primarily a beer person. I might say I like this stuff more than beer, but that's just because I can't pick a favorite beer. I can definitely name the beers that I rate very highly, and would easily choose above others when given the opportunity. Bitburger, Sapporo, Modelo. Modelo is definitely a high rating for me. Miller Genuine Draft is up there as well. But, you know, to pick a favorite from among those would be a tall ask from me, because it's generally a tall ask for me to pick a favorite in general, because it changes all the time. So whenever people ask me what's my favorite TV show, movie, song, artist, I really can't give an answer, because you know, you asked me like in a month, let alone in a number of years, my answer will have varied wildly. So yeah, it's not worth pinning down. It's a bit easier, of course, to think of the favorites that I do have. I mean, look at this. Gerald Pepper is now fighting with Lucas Evans for third here. Lucas Evans has been following behind Max Davis for a good chunk of this race so far. We're still not yet at the halfway point, but Gerald Pepper has left Lucas Evans in the dust. Evans boxed in with Jana Fogelman in front of Rocky Johnson to the inside. So now Gerald Pepper's the one riding right behind Max Davis. Gerald Pepper with a very world-class move up into third. You'll love to see it. Daniel Voiles still runs fifth here. Flobo up to sixth with Taiki in seventh. Ibrahimian A. Franco back into the top 10, ninth there. Eli Wolf 10th, Monaco 11th, Smith 12th, Burnett 13th. I think Burnett was in the top 10 recently. Mo Zane has fallen from 5th to 15th in this race. That's not happy days for him. Bracken runs 14th there. Harvey 16th. Behind him are Özkan Thomas, Langestein, and Joe Allen. He rounds out your top 20. Charlebois still runs 21st. Colin Cropley running 22nd right now, and now the GOAT is catching up to Colin Cropley, as a matter of fact, trying to get by him on the inside, diving below the racing surface, a little bit onto the apron there, locking up the tires once again. White coming back at the GOAT here. He's unable to clear her just yet, but there he goes. Look at Morgan there. Morgan up to 25th there. I'm pretty sure he was running in the bottom 10 very recently, but obviously he's been able to make his way back. The GOAT begins lap 49 as I accidentally hit the Windows button on my keyboard there. Oops. But yeah, you can appreciate that. Look at that. Davis running right behind Lyle Austin, 31st, while the GOAT is looking at Colin Cropley in 22nd. So the GOAT has a nice number of cars shielding him from Davis at the moment. But I do believe that if a caution were to come out, those cars would eventually go to the inside, putting Davis right behind the GOAT on the restart. And by which point the GOAT would have to be given a tall order of getting back up to a good racing speed on cold tires, with a bunch of lapped cars running on the inside, possibly able to out-jump him on the restart. Definitely would be a tall ask. Gerald Pepper falling behind Max Davis now, which gives Lucas Evans a chance to come back at him, of course. But yeah, Evans was unable to make a move on Max Davis, just biding his time throughout the previous few laps. Now Gerald Pepper's in that position and possibly not making nearly the most of it, the same way that Evans would. Evans getting caught up in the lap traffic, of course, and Pepper able to wheel his way through without much issue. So that definitely complicates matters, no doubt. Now, we'll run through your running order at the side once again. What was my previous train of thought? Yeah, what should I say? Well, first of all, my dad likes Michelob, and he might as well be drinking donkey piss. I don't have respect for Michelob. The thing is, my dad told me that Corona, according to one of his friends, is donkey piss, or he gave me the line, "You might as well be drinking donkey piss." Every time you see smoke in the turns there, that's from the goat locking up. He hasn't spun yet. So yeah, there's that. I think his beer of choice over the past few years has been Bud Light. I think that there's definitely Tecate here and there. Yeah, mainly Bud Light, but in recent years, Michelob. Michelob seemed to really jump in popularity in the past 5 years. It seems like. So there's that. As you can see here, Lucas Evans and Gerald Pepper both catching up to Max Davis, but Evans immediately gunning for third. Running side by side with Gerald Pepper through turns 1 and 2. It's lap 58 for these two. Evans with an overtakes of the week move on Gerald Pepper. Evans back into third as we begin lap 59. As Evans begins lap 59. Who knows where the GOAT is? The GOAT could very well be catching up. Look at that. He's been able to lap 19th place Joe Allen, who's been able to get past Harry Langstein, it would seem. Schalabot falling from 21st to 26th in the previous span of laps here. Gil Samaya still runs last. Has he been able to improve his lap time? He has not. Gil Samaya just having a torrid time, languishing at the back of the field. In fact, the GOAT has lapped him again. Gil Samaya, the first driver today to be lapped twice. And, well, Joe Allen is looking very good to get past him very soon. So, again, Gil Samaya just suffering today. He is clearly out of his station here. Clearly just not in the right spot with the car on this track. Amy Hicks also to be put 2 laps down. The GOAT able to get past 18th placed Harvey. Number 18 in 18th place in this race. You love to see it. Matthew Burnett is next, then Zane Özkan, Thomas, Bracken, Smith. Jenkins will be put 2 laps down. Jenkins about to get passed by Patrick Smith, running 12th here. So, yeah, the GOAT just dominating this race so far. He's really looking on for, a lead from pole. He could very well lap the whole field. I think it's actually going to be a bit tougher of a task here at Bristol, even though it's so easy to begin lapping cars. Meanwhile, Lucas Evans with the tough ask of getting past Max Davis delivers. Lucas Evans once again runs second here at Bristol under the lights. And for the 5th consecutive race in a row, we can find Lucas Evans running second. More remains to be seen if he can finish the race in that position, or even better, of course, go for the race win. That would take something like a miracle, but well, the GOAT is quite a miracle maker insofar as it's very easy for him to just screw it all up and throw the race win away right now. Gerald Pepper, meanwhile, has also been able to get past Max Davis, who's dropped down to 4th here. Gerald Pepper having a good time again, could be looking to give Lucas Evans a real run for his money here. Take a look at your running order here. The GOAT has been able to get past Burnett, so again, Zane and Özkan next on the list of cars to lap for the GOAT here. Well past the halfway point of this race. And, alright, so I was going on about my family's alcohol preferences. Yeah, my dad, I think, primarily drinks beer. Every once in a while, he'll buy a bottle of wine and drink the whole thing in a night. I don't think he's really been too impressed by anything other than I think it's called 12 Crimes or something. And one of the ones has Snoop Dogg on it, so you know it's legit. But yeah, I'd say he's primarily a beer person. Primarily, again, to reiterate, a Michelob person, unfortunately. Though Bud Light used to be his preference in the past. He'll drink tequila as well, of course. Probably there's not too much else to say on that front. I think both my sisters are into mixed drinks, especially ones with tequila, as the Latina youth of our generation tend to be. And by youth, I mean yuppies. Yeah. I'll never pass up an opportunity to make fun of yuppies here. Something's about to go down very soon. Did I miss it? I have not missed it. Okay. We'll go back to the goat actually for a moment here as we discuss the things and the considerations that we were getting into. So yeah, my sisters are into mixed drinks. They don't like beer. They're the kind of people who like the cheap wine that you can get for under $10 at, you know, your average grocery store. Things like Barefoot, Stella Rosa. Yeah, Stella Rosa. Not really Barefoot actually, but mostly Stella Rosa. They're big fans of Rosé, Moscato, that sort of thing. As well as I think there's probably one more thing. Look at that, the goat nearly just getting taken out by Patrick Smith there, looking very unsettled, but able to keep control of the car here. 50 laps to go for the goat here at Bristol Motor Speedway. He has led the majority of the laps this race, so he's good for those 10 extra points, but again, he has 50 laps left to win this race. There's no time for him to calm down now. He's definitely going to be suffering from the effects of tire wear, that right front tire especially, as is often the case in NASCAR racing 2003 season, will likely be the most worn, the hottest of the tires. As is the case at most of the short tracks, so far this season, fuel stop isn't necessary, but the issue at the short tracks is the tire wear, and not the fuel. You saw the goat there getting into Leroy Jenkins' car. Leroy Jenkins, I think, the third car to be put 2 laps down in this race. Jana Fogelman, Bob Nafloba running up in front of the goat. Jana Fogelman, I believe, is running 1 lap down already. Bob Nafloba, meanwhile, is about to be lapped for the first time. In fact, Eli Wolf runs 10th, so the goat is looking at the top 10 here as he begins lap 80. 46 laps to go. My mom doesn't really drink alcohol. I think the only drink she really has is sangria, usually the Costco brand. Besides that, that's it really. I don't really like hard liquor. I'd like to like hard liquor. I've bought some bourbon and brandy before, some scotch as well, but it's always very difficult for me to actually drink them, so I usually end up regretting doing so. Yeah, I just do not have the taste for it, so I'll save my money. I guess we'll take a moment to run through your order if we can do so. The goat leads this race still. Look at the gap between himself and second place here. Second place, Max Davis. Third, still Lucas Evans. Gerald Pepper has lost 4th position to Daniel Hoyles out of nowhere. Not sure what that. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be very feasible to run through the order here, actually. We'll just have to pay attention to the scoring at the side there. Is it a car slowing down to get into the pits? Maybe not. I think I would remember the car pitting, of course. 41 laps to go. For the goat, he gets past Franco once again. Trickle has also been lapped. Oh, actually no, here I was thinking that Franco was running at the back of the field where we can usually find him, but no. Franco's in the top 10. Joey Trickle getting lapped twice. Jana Fogelman, yeah. The 4th car to be lapped twice. Trickle the 5th. Sabrina Lega's 6th here. Who gets past him without much issue. The ice in my drink is starting to melt. So hurry up and get some more of that put away. Go getting past Montero. Salin. Another car to be put 2 laps down. Let's take a look at his lap times here. As you can see, we're seeing more and more 17s. We have not seen a 16-second lap time since lap 73, and we can, of course, chalk that up to both the GOAT's endeavor to lap these cars here, which is definitely a task easier said than done, and to the tire wear. That's how he's definitely having to cope with right now. Dylan Abrahamian runs 8th behind R.E. Taiki, who's getting past Reggie Fogelman, the GOAT, getting ready to lap all 3 of these cars. Reggie Fogelman already a lap down, eventually we put 2 laps down here. We still have 40 cars left in the contest here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we still have not had a caution as the GOAT rounds the track halfway through lap 90. It's been a nice, slow, quiet race, to be fair. Oh dear, Rocky Johnson blowing up, and we have a caution out. Rocky Johnson is, oh dear. Rocky Johnson has suffered an engine failure, and unfortunately that appeared to prevent her from getting into the pits properly. Rocky Johnson out of this race, and we are under caution for the first time tonight, just as I was saying that we have not had a caution. As you can see, the GOAT is on lap 92, and well, he's definitely going to be looking at coming into the pits soon, along with the rest of the leaders, whom because they're able to pit first, the top 6 who are still on the lead lap, they will they'll all get bunched up together once again by the time the restart comes around. So the massive gap that the GOAT was able to build to Max Davis getting undone. In fact, I think that, yeah, as you can see, Monaco and Pepper were just about to be lapped by the GOAT, so they're into the pits before the GOAT, actually. They'll still be in front of him when we restart, so they'll still be in danger of being lapped, but for the moment, despite the GOATs lapping them on pit road, once he's done with his pit stop here, and he'll definitely have to repair some damage, the stop-go man is going to put on the stop sign, incidentally. Pepper able to get out before the stop-go man stop sign went down, and as you can see, the rest of the field heading into the pits here, and the GOAT done with his pit stop, but he has to wait. Monaco's going to beat him out of pit road here, because Monaco is resting right at the end of pit lane there. So yeah, the GOAT thinking that he could jump past Monaco there, but no, Monaco able to get out in front of him. So the GOAT's going to have to let Monaco through. And as you can see, Davis is actually able to get out in front of Evans here, who had a pretty long pit stop, possibly to repair some damage. The rest of the field is out on pit road right now, as you can see, and we keep catching. Oh my days, we keep catching Pepper there. So trying to get through the field on pit road. Okay, very nice. Well, whatever. I'll just skip to the end of the caution, I think. When we restart, Monaco is going to be sat in front of the GOAT. Davis right behind. Pepper, Evans, and Voiles. So yeah, 6 cars left on the lead lap. Although Eric Monaco is right in front of the GOAT and liable to be lapped by him, of course, and that would put only 5 cars on the lead lap. Starting on the inside line, Taiki, Salin, Trickle, Lego, Jenkins, Wolf, Oskan, Abrahamian, Burnett, Smith, Allen, Flobo, Harvey, Samaya, Thomas, Langstein, Hicks, Cropley, Shadowveld, Sato, Piquet, Charbois, Whitlock, Wells, Austin, White, Spurley, Jana Fogelman, Reggie Fogelman, Bracken, Morgan, Franco, and Zane. So yeah, we start here on lap 97. Monaco and Taiki leading the field, and oh, that's a very slow start from the GOAT there. Oh, he's looking, oh dear, those tires are very cold. He's having to do quite a lot of work here to get them heated up once again. Trying to get in behind Jenkins. Misses opportunity there. Wolf's in the way. The GOAT goes spinning into Abrahamian. Abrahamian gets sent into the wall. I think we have a caution out here. And oh, there's another car spinning. Max Davis involved. Lucas Evans as well. And race leaders, effectively. Cars still on the lead lap point in the race there. Oh, things looking much worse now. And yeah, all the stream of cars getting in our way. So under caution once again, just after getting out from under it, Max Davis trying to break free of Matthew Burnett. After Matthew Burnett was able to get past the GOAT and Ibrahimian, spinning onto the inside down the front stretch. But yeah, unfortunately, Burnett diving in there gets into Max Davis's car. Max Davis comes across right in front of Lucas Evans. Thomas Cropley PK getting collected there. Bracken gets collected by Evans. Oh, look at that! Evans upside down! Oh, what a disaster! Evans' race possibly over now. Look at that! I think that when Bracken impacted his car, no, yeah, Evans, yeah, when Bracken impacted Evans' car, he was already getting lifted off the tires. Davis getting absolutely shit mixed once again by the GOAT of all drivers, in fact. But yeah, Evans on his roof there. Franco looking like he's out of this race as well. Oh, that's got to be heartbreaking for Lucas Evans. And Adalberto Franco, who had all these cars in the way, you see. I'm trying to get... Reagan Whitlock having a bad time there. But yeah, Evans and Franco both racing in the top 10. Looking like they're out of this race. Gerald Pepper promoted to the race lead. Reagan Whitlock out of this. What the hell happened here? Reagan Whitlock succumbing to what seems to be the same fate as Rocky Johnson, missing the pit entry there and getting absolutely taken out. What a disaster that was. Yeah, Gerald Pepper has been promoted to the race lead, and Daniel Voiles now runs second. Check up on Max Davis here. Not Wolf. Davis. Davis in his pit stall, as is the GOAT, trying to get that damage repaired. See some cars heading into the pits now. Jana Fogelman and S.p.A PK among them. They were caught up, of course, in the incident. Of course, Reagan Whitlock is out of this race, as is Adalberto Franco. As for Lucas Evans, Evans is back out onto the racetrack, down in 33rd place. But he is back out onto the racetrack despite landing his car on his roof in turn 2. He managed to get towed back to pit road, and he's going to keep trucking on. How about that? Davis and the GOAT will start behind him. Going to restart on lap 104. Again, Gerald Pepper now leads the race from Daniel Voiles. And looks like, yeah, still on the lead lap now. Tyke, Monaco, Wolf Burnett, Davis, and the GOAT. I believe that's only 8 drivers. 8 drivers only on the lead lap when we restart here. Most of the field's running the inside line. Jana Fogelman heading up the back, actually. Out of this race are Whitlock, Franco, and of course Johnson, who had an engine failure earlier on and crashed right into the pit wall. The same way Whitlock did. Whitlock might have been back out onto the racetrack if Evans were able to do so. But yeah, that's pretty piss poor. Pepper leads the field. We go green once again. Anything stupid gonna happen here? You're watching very closely for anything dumb happening so far. That's the GOAT. Again, the GOAT that's not having a very good restart. And yeah. Again, it's going to be quite a tall order for him to get back into the race lead here, because he has suffered some engine damage. But yeah, Gerald Pepper leading this race so far. The GOAT goes spinning. We are under caution once again. And, oh, the car's getting bunched up here. Zane goes spinning around. Montero Salin piles into Annie Thomas's car. There's Evans wheeling around the racetrack once again, able to slow down before ramming into Salin. How about that? Okay, seems to be the same story. The GOAT having a bit of discussion with Davis, although he could very well have something to say to Evans as well. But yeah, okay. Some of these cars don't appear to be lapped yet, but yeah, when we restart again, it's going to be Pepper and stuff. Oh, we're still under caution. Okay, let me figure this stuff out. Same 8 cars still in the lead lap. Whatever. We're back underway once again. Gerald Pepper once again leading the field, immediately jumping to the inside in front of Patrick Smith there, so as not to get caught up in any crap at the whatever ends of the racetrack here. Now the GOAT's current objective will be Max Davis. And Lyle Austin goes spinning across the racetrack. More cars involved in some crashes here and there. Morgan going around. White collected in something, and we're under caution once again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. The cars just keep finding ways to spin. Morgan spinning Lyle Austin around. Rejoining the racetrack in front of Brittany White, taking her out. Cropley, Ebrahimian, Lego, a few others getting collected. Evans sort of caught up there very briefly, but still looking good. White's out of this race. Lego may very well be as well. Yeah. What a shame. Davis out on pit road once again. I think the GOAT has stayed out, though. So he's trying to warm up the tires, which doesn't work, but he desperately wants it to, because he just cannot get them heated up for the life of him. There's the GOAT once again. Pepper's still leading the field as we restart here. That's him. Oh, having a bad line through that turn there. What has gone wrong there? Trying to get back up onto the racetrack in front of Hicks. He goes spinning once again. Wells gets collected. Sato caught up as well. And Salem piles into him. Salem finally out of this race after getting caught up in so many crashes. Bracken in the mix as well. Wells is out of this race. Bracken appears to be as well. Davis back in pit road. Evans getting by. He's up into 25th here, but we're under caution once again. Thanks to the GOAT. Gerald Pepper getting rammed into by Patrick Smith. And, well, spoiler alert, we end this race under caution. The GOAT tries to play some games with running around pit road because the pit road speed limit is faster than the pace road speed limit, but he gets black flags for passing the pace car, thus proving that my little attempt at a nice exploit to Hail Mary myself into the race lead, which I rightfully deserved after all the bullshit that I had to put up with in this race, was stripped away from me. But, nope. Damn. We're looking so good, but let it all go in the end. Lucas Evans getting promoted to 8th here. Evans had fallen all the way down to 33rd. He's coming into the pits now, but dear, well, Patrick Smith is quite a ways away from him. So, oh, no, Evans not coming into the pits. Okay, that's a bit strange, but more importantly, yeah. Okay, Evans running around. Ladies and gentlemen, what an anticlimactic finish to the Sharpie 500 we've just had. Just the last 30 laps were taken up by cautions. Gerald Pepper, a man we'd seen running 40th, finishing 40th for most of the season, goes to victory lane today. What a joke. Well, Gerald Pepper really drove his heart out today, duking it out with Max Davis and Lucas Evans, both of whom were looking really good for most of the race. Gerald Pepper finally gets a race win. How about that one? Imagine that. Daniel Voiles finishing 2nd today. Aryu Taiki 3rd. Lucas Evans can content himself with a top 10 finish at least. Max Davis, unfortunately, finishing in 20th today. I think that's what it's going to look like. These results aren't completely accurate because, yeah. Kind of looks like I won the race, but we'll get straight into your actual standings right here. Gerald Pepper wins today. Yeah, only 124 laps completed. That's a little bit strange. But, yeah, what a heartbreak for the GOAT. He led 100 laps, but Gerald Pepper able to lead the last 24 under caution. And, well, yeah. The race win was his today. Really, really disappointing finish to the Sharpie 500, with all the cautions being caused by all these ridiculous spins that seem to be happening for no good reason. That yeah, really just got in the way of what was otherwise looking like a rather decent race. You know, not exactly the most entertaining one that's ever been featured on this channel. I definitely think that the Pepsi 400 a few weeks ago was probably the best that we've ever seen. But yeah, how about that? Gerald Pepper is a race winner this season. You know, you gotta feel happy about that. No doubt. Daniel Voyle is second, Tyke third, Wolf fourth, Monica fifth, Burnett sixth. All of those drivers finishing higher than they started. I'm sure they can be very pleased with that. Again, bitter pill to swallow for the goats. Possibly not nearly as bitter as this vermouth here. Yeah. But a top 10's a top 10. He finished the race, unlike the previous one at Bristol, so he's got that. Lucas Evans started second today, but his streak of consecutive second-place finishes has been ended with a rather disappointing ace today. Smith came home ninth, and Allen rounding out your top 10. Very good result for Allen today. Smith probably could have done much better, but so it goes. Harvey, Flobo, Langestein, Özkan, Shadowald, Chambois, Spurley, Trickle, Jenkinson, Max Davis. Round out your top 20. Another disappointment as far as Max Davis is concerned. He could have very well won the race today, given that the GOAT had a lot of kerfuffles of his own. But nope, Gerald Pepper was there at the front. He managed to avoid all the carnage. And, well, rightly so. Ended up coming in with the race win today. At one point, like, before the caution came out, we had 40 cars running in the race. Of course, Johnson was due to retire due to her engine failure, but we would have had 39, but only 25 cars ended up finishing the race today. P.K. Samaya, Reggie Fogelman, Hickson, Cropley, 21st through 25th. Just races to forget as far as these drivers are concerned, but, well, out of this race, Thomas, Sallin, Brackenwell, Sato, Zane, Austin, White, Futlego, Morgan, Ebrahimi, Jana Fogelman, all caught up in various incidents near the end of the race. Whitlock and Franco were crashed out around lap 97 or so, and of course, again, Rocky Johnson suffered an engine failure, but is being scored as having suffered an accident, which is also true. So, a lot more DNFs today, as usual. Patrick Smith's race lead, well, I keep saying that. His points lead has fallen once again, ever so slightly, to Eric Monaco. 249 laps there. And I realize that I've left my calculator. Calculator I needed for my FE exam in one of the cars. But let's see. Let's do the math here because there are 12 races left. So 12 times 185 minus 12 times 43 is 1704. And I think that means... I believe... Okay, hold on. Let me do this math. I should have done this math before I started this video, but I believe that this means that, theoretically... Hold on, okay. 1785 plus 12 times 185 is 4005, while 3471 plus 12 times 43 is 3987. So, 12 races to go. Mathematically, everybody, except for Martini, Sevilla, McGregor, obviously, still has a mathematical chance of winning the championship. But, of course, things are probably heavily skewed in favor of the top 20, all of whom are within 1,000 points of Patrick Smith at this point of the season. Gil Samai, despite having a very piss-poor performance today, finishing effectively last or so. He was running last for most of the race, but ended up finishing like in the, at least 25th, I think, because he survived the carnage. Yeah, just had an abysmal day today, but still doing well in the points. And, still has plenty more opportunities to put in some really good race results. Performances, really just, continue to demonstrate that he is, worthy of being in the top 5 at so late a point in the season. 2/3 of the way through we are. Bracken 5th, Trickle 6th, the GOAT 7th, Harvey 8th, Spurley 9th, and Özkan 10th. Max Davis out of the top 10 as before, I think, but yeah. He was in there briefly, but yeah, still got some work to do. Again, a disappointing result today. He could have easily had a top 5, but that's how it goes. Wolf 12th, Evans up to 13th. Very good there. Very good. Burnett 14th, Wells 15th, Reggie Fogelman 16th, Thomas 17th, Morgan 18th, PK 19th, and Tyke 20th. Morgan continuing to fall, despite, having been up as high as about 14th or so, I think, in the standings at one point. Schottevald, Flobo, Langestein, Jaden Fogelman, Zane, Cropley, Hicks, Salin, Jenkins, Shawbois, Lego, Pepper, Abrahamian, Allen Sato, Austin Johnson, Whitlock, White, and Franco make up positions 21 through 40 in the standings. Franco still last in the standings. And Gerald Pepper up to 32nd after his race win today. And Colin Cropley just suffering there in 26th. What a shame. Take a look at some of your top stats so far this season. The GOAT has the most pulls with 8. Gil Samaya has 4. Smith has 3. Trickle and Evans share 2. Voiles, Davis, Morgan, Tyke, and Whitlock all had 1. Remember, Whitlock had the pole for Daytona, the Daytona 500. GOAT has an astonishing 8 wins this season. Gil Samaya has 3. Smith and Monaco both have 2. Harvey, Özkan, Davis, Wolf, Tyke, Schottevald, Cropley, and now Gerald Pepper, along with Vittoria Sevilla, of course, have each won at least 1 race this season. 12 top 5s for Patrick Smith, 8 for Monaco, the GOAT, and Evans. Trickle and Morgan have 6. Voiles has 7, that is. Trickle and Morgan. Voiles has 6. Samaya and Davis only have 5. But yeah, Samaya with a bunch of consistent results. Still rightfully deserving of 3rd place in the standings at this point. As for your top 10s, Smith has 18. And, well, it's no secret why he's the points leader. Monaco in 2nd with 14th. Voiles in 4th with 12. Trickle, the GOAT, and Wolf have 11. Samaya and Evans have 10. Bracken, Özkan, Davis, and Burnett each have 9. As for your DNFs, White and Johnson tied for the most with 8 out of 24 races so far this season. Whitlock, Pepper, and the GOAT have 7. Lego, Charbonneau, Floba have 6. Franco, Austin, Morgan, Reggie Fogelman, and Mathis Wells all have 5. The laps completed still belongs to Matthew Burnett here. Montero, Salin, definitely nowhere near that anymore. Well, actually only 19 laps below. But yeah, Samaya, Bracken, Smith, and Hicks, your top 5 for laps completed. The GOAT adding a whole 100 laps to his laps led. I'm sorry, that's the drink getting to me. With 637 laps led, Samaya far a distant second with 190. All right, your next race, it's the night race at Darlington. A NASCAR tradition, no doubt, the Mountain Dew Southern 500. I think that name is quite awe-inspiring. Well, we'll see you there. It's been Hanafuda. It's been a time and a half, an honor. And I'll see you in the next video. Time to hit the bathroom. Ugh.